Welcome to GSI, the most explosive guide to PlayStation games ever. Packed with news, reviews and previews, GSI lets you see the latest games moving, hear the people behind the games talking, and features the unique GameShark CDX cheat engine.
Hey everybody, welcome back to H4G. I'm your host Tony, and today I want to take you guys back in time to the year 2000 when some people had fast internet, but I sure as hell did not. My parents pinched those pennies, and for good reason, of course. They wanted to give us a good life, be able to afford things, but 56K was the way to go for my household for a long time. So if I wanted to go ahead and download some video game video reviews, that would basically be impossible to do. And I think most publications knew that, so you'd get stuff like this: GSI, GameShark Interactive Magazine. It was a magazine on disc for the PlayStation 1. Or at least this individual disc is a magazine on disc, because I can't seem to find anything else about any other issues whatsoever. I know that GameShark Magazine was an actual physical magazine that existed, but I can't find anything else about this thing. Online it says that it was a sampler. Online it says that it was given out at E3 2000. I kind of doubt that. Maybe that's true. Probably was just packaged in with the magazine itself. But I found it at Retro-Taku Video Games. And my God, did it catch my eye. Take a look at this chick here. She's both facing you and facing away from you simultaneously. Her spine is so twisted that it is about to snap at any given second, just so you can see her butt and her boobs at once, and they are just gushing out. Do you remember back in the day when you had slow internet and basically you either had the Sears catalog or your gaming magazine?
They prayed it would never be unleashed. Unfortunately for them, their prayers weren't answered. CDX is out. Packed full with the greatest game codes for infinite health, lives and ammo, extra weapons, vehicles and characters, CDX delivers the power to blow your
Works on the PlayStation 1, not the PSX emulator, not the PlayStation 2, not the PlayStation 3. Nothing else that plays PlayStation 1 games can play this thing that I'm aware of other than the actual PlayStation 1. I tried.
Official GameShark code source and hardcore gamer website. Or call the GameShark hotline on 1-900-773...
We have a plethora of previews, interviews, contests, and of course, GameShark codes, because it is GameShark Interactive Magazine. Let's tackle some of the highlights. Of course, big feature here is SmackDown, and the disc itself actually functions like the GameShark CDX. Now, if you're not familiar with the GameShark on the PlayStation originally, it was this thing which plugged into the back of your PlayStation console. But as time went on, Sony removed that port on the back of the system, so GameShark released their software on a disc instead of on a physical piece of modular hardware. Now, I went to go check out these codes, and then when I went back into the menu for the codes, there was a secret message, complete with a complaining developer, spelling errors, bitching about the PlayStation 2, and tons of praise for the Dreamcast. I'm just going to let this roll for a second. Now, true to its quote magazine roots, we actually have a text review for SmackDown. Until recently, if you were an exceptionally overweight, sweaty sportsman with incredibly dodgy taste in clothing, the only sport that was open to you was, of course, international darts, and that's spelled with a capital I and a capital D. The huge impact of the WWF has changed this. Now, every weekend, men happily dress up in ski masks and spangly leotards and grapple with other scantily clad fat blokes in front of tens of thousands of screaming fans, and we love it. And of course it goes on and on and on. And here we have the SmackDown player profiles. I love how this loads here, just ever so slow. Piece by piece. My God. Here's the real reason why I shouldn't have had this thing as a kid. It would have been real dangerous for me. So many pixels. Hot pixels. Here's a developer interview with Deep Red.
Thunderbirds are go in our exclusive no-strings work-in-progress interview. GSI travels to the studios of Deep Red to meet the people entrusted with turning Tracy Island from a puppet-populated paradise to a PlayStation blockbuster.
And here we have a featurette on the upcoming PlayStation 2. Keep in mind this was released in the year 2000.
It has a safety mechanism, which means it has to be pressed twice before it acts. Game CDs are silver or deep blue, no black discs anymore by the looks of things. The first thing you see on screen is the new Sony Computer Entertainment Splash, which sees blue mist swirling out of the center of the screen. The quality of this animation has to be seen to be appreciated because it's liquid smooth. Photos just can't convey how impressive this really looks.
Now this is neat. It's CIA, or Cheats in Action. It allows you to send in gameplay footage of you using cheats in action for a chance to be showcased on the magazine.
Gaming situations ever seen on a PlayStation. Join us as we take a sneak peek at top secret cheat codes and game enhancements at work. You too can be part of Cheats in Action. Simply record your extraordinary gaming feeds onto a standard video cassette and send it to the address that will appear on your screen after this message. The best video footage will feature on a future issue of GSI, with each winner receiving a fantastic GameShark CDX game enhancer for PlayStation. Cheats in Action. Together, we'll blow games apart.
Microsoft. We unveil the mysteries of the Xbox. Work in progress. Now, along with the PS2 featurette, we also have an Xbox featurette, which of course, makes sense. They were coming out at around the same time, but it is kind of funny that you're watching an Xbox featurette on the PlayStation 1. And the thing is, they're talking about these amazing graphics and everything, but it's just like this really grainy video that you're watching. And I'm kicking this out in RGB via SCART in terms of the capture, and it still, even when it's as crisp as it can be, it's still kind of grainy. I mean, I could get a better SCART cable, I need to, but it's way better than composite, and it's just ass.
Connection built in. That's because we see this as a device really for the broadband internet generation.
Now lastly, there's a whole subsection with reviews, previews, codes, and contests for a ton of different games too.
Briefly, and without giving too much away, the protagonist crawls out of a helicopter wreck with no knowledge of who he is or how he came to be there, and the main thrust of the game, apart from surviving, follows his attempt to discover the answers.
And look at these codes, there are just a bunch of them here. But I think the crown jewel of this section is the gadget corner. I especially like the advertisement beforehand because it starts with a primitive version of the Roomba.
Thanks to some clever computer programming and sensory technology, this vacuum is too
And then it goes into what is effectively a Tiger Electronics handheld strapped to your eyes. I mean, this is like slightly better than the R-Zone because it's fully strapped to your eyes and you have like some motion controls, I guess. But if you look at this, it's not VR. It's just Tiger Electronics, like those little LCD screens, or like you can have motion like this, you know, just awful.
Cast the line out and use a sneaky radar to spot those unlucky fish. And virtual reality world is just as much fun for all your mates as they laugh at you leaping wildly about the room trying to catch
So hey, that's the GSI magazine. Please let me know if you know anything about this. Again, I couldn't find any other information about this thing other than just super basic, one or two like really old out-of-date websites. Don't think it's been properly cataloged. And also, thank you very much to Retro-Taku Video Games in Madison Heights, Michigan for letting me have this disc to showcase to all of you. If you liked what you saw today, feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when our videos are coming out, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and a share, and we will see you guys next time.